Welcome to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. And for those of you who will be watching the replay, I hope you've had a pleasant day today. It's April 20, 2021. It's a Tuesday. And if you don't notice it from my background, medyo overcast po, makulimlim. Clearly, that Typhoon Bising is still affecting conditions all over the country, particularly in the Visayas. So we will catch up on that. Today, we are going to have two guests, first of which will be Undersecretary Rowena Guevara of the Department of Science and Technology. Because in the darkness, frustration, and confusion over the lack of vaccines in the Philippines and the drama that it's creating, at least the DOST is giving us a glimmer of hope, a promise alongside their partners, because there is a plan or there have been proposals to put up our own vaccine manufacturing plants in the Philippines. At kaya naman po natin, matagal nang magagaling ang mga Pilipino. We have some of the best scientists, some of the best chemists, microbiologists, virologists, etc. Kinukuha ang mga health experts natin abroad. It's time that we actually put them all together here in the Philippines and put up our own vaccine plant. Okay, now we will discuss that with USEC Rowena Guevara, and after that we will also speak with Governor Presbitero Velasco, Governor of Marinduque Province. Makibalita tayo what's happening in Marinduque, how are they affected by Typhoon Bising, and also he is the president of the League of Provinces. Makibalita rin tayo because right now the focus has been mostly on Metro Manila, NCR Plus, because of the vaccine shortage daw, okay? And also on Typhoon Bising. But we must remember that there are so many provinces, municipalities, cities, localities outside of Imperial Manila that also needs to be heard, needs to be seen, or at least for us to know how they are. So, without further ado, okay, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. The DOH insists there is no need to make changes in the country's health protocols after a prominent medical journal, The Lancet, revealed that COVID-19 may be spread through the air or aerosolized. Hindi pala aerosolized. Airborne. COVID airborne. DOH says the health protocols are enough. While the World Health Organization is studying the new report, it reiterates COVID-19 is spread by aerosols generated through talking, coughing, or sneezing that can be controlled by the wearing of masks. And there lies our problem. When we tone down the messaging, okay, medyo dinadagdagan natin ng pampakalma yung dapat kakabahala, ang nangyayari, nagbabali-wala. Napakamakata ko ngayong umaga. I'm pointing out, ladies and gentlemen, that when you tone down the messaging, people just begin to take things for granted. Yes, masks are important. Face shields are important. Social distancing is important. Alcohol and hand sanitation is very important. But it has to be done properly. And the only way people will really consciously do it properly is when they realize that if they don't, it will kill them. Okay? Marami pa po dito sa mga probinsya, dito na lang sa Lipa, ako umiikot, marami pa ring mga pasaway. May mask nga, sa baba naman. Nakakahawa ba yung baba ninyo? Okay, anyway, let's go forward. Airborne diseases, let me just point that out. Pasensya na, Arvic. What are airborne diseases? Sipon, trangkaso, cold, flu, measles, mumps, okay, diphtheria ba yun or something? These are all, TB, tuberculosis is airborne. So, yung sinasabi nilang, hindi masyado yan, basta nakamask ka. Ang problema nga, sasabihin nyo, basta kamas, hindi nga sinusuot kasi hindi nila naintindihan. They don't realize it will kill them. Okay, the Department of Tourism announced the conversion of 21 hotels into isolation facilities located in Metro Manila and Southern Tagalog due to the surge of cases. A total of 2,222 rooms will be available to individuals found to be COVID-19 positive. Congratulations po, Secretary Berna Berna Romulo Puyat. Okay, congratulations. Kasi while someone in Malacanang was saying, well, I can do that, I can take over the hotels, it would be illegal. Someone actually got the cooperation of the hotels to be converted into hospitals and isolation facilities. Sa totoo lang po, sana ma-consider din yung sabi ng presidente, CEO ng San Miguel Corporation, si Ramon Ang. He suggested there are so many empty elevated multi-level parking lots in the Philippines right now, especially in Metro Manila, because most people are not going out or can't go out. Why don't we just use these facilities, convert them into triage areas where people who need medical attention, yung kumbaga preliminary, pre-hospitalization, pre-ER, pre-ICU, can go there and be checked. Maluluwag po ang parking. May guhit pa. Kahit na mag-alternate slotting ka, kama, upuan, marami po yan. Good idea, Mr. Ramon Ang. Sana po patulan ng mga namamahala. Meanwhile, Hong Kong has imposed a travel ban from flights coming from the Philippines, India, and Pakistan. This will take effect starting today for 2 weeks. Authorities from Hong Kong says this is due to the detection of the N501Y mutant COVID-19 strain. Okay, so yan na po yung mga napili ng Team Agenda na primary news sa front page of the Philippine Star. Greetings to all my associates in the Philippine Star, my fellow columnists, at kayo po mga nanonood, nakikinig. If you have the time, you're looking for more interesting reading material and information, you can go either online or buy the Philippine Star. Okie dokie. Let's move forward to our program proper interview. Let's see. I don't know if we are hooked up already. The Undersecretary for Research and Development of the Department of Science and Technology is our guest today. Good morning, Undersecretary Rowena Guevara, ma'am.
Magandang umaga, Cito. Magandang umaga din sa ating mga tagapanood.
Alam mo, mabuti na lang ikaw ang una kong bisita kasi para maganda naman yung mapapag-usapan. May pangako, may promise, there is hope. Could you share with our viewers and our listeners what this program or proposed program or idea is of the DOST and its partners na magtatayo raw tayo ng vaccine factory in the Philippines?
Cito, dalawang bagay yung ating gustong itayo. Una, gusto nating itayo yung Virology, Science and Technology Institute of the Philippines. Pangalawa, gusto rin nating maghikayat ng local pharmaceutical companies natin na mag-umpisang mag-manufacture ng vaccines kontra COVID. So yun yung dalawang very important news natin, no?
Okay. Ulit nga yung sinabi mo, Yusek, Virology,
Science and Technology Institute of the Philippines, VIP.
Okay. VIP. Okay. Medyo hindi ko na connect Parang may nawalang letter S. Anyway, so what is the direction, the concept behind putting up this Virology Science and Technology Institute of the Philippines. Why do we need it? What do you hope to achieve with it, and can it be done?
Sa pagkakaalam ng mga tao, wala talaga tayong vaccine manufacturing sa Philippines. So isipin mo, bakit nga ba wala? One of the reasons is that nobody is doing research on vaccine development. Matagal na nating problema yan na lahat ng ating bakuna doon sa National Immunization Program ng DOH ay imported. So para makapag-manufacture tayo, kailangan meron tayong tinatawag na vaccine developers. Para magkaroon tayo ng vaccine development, kailangan may nagre-research tungkol sa pag-develop ng mga vaccines. At yan yung tinatawag nating mga virologists. We imagine that the VIP will host scientists, both coming from the local scientists and of course from foreign scientists, who will develop or who will undertake R&D such that they can study the viruses and eventually develop vaccines for this. The VIP will not just be for human viruses, but also for plant viruses and also for animal viruses. Like we have a problem now on ASF. We also had the problem of kadang-kadang viroid for our coconut. Daming
Yeah.
farmers ang nagsuffer dyan. So these are the things that we will study at the VIP. And if we have such a facility, we will be able to develop our own vaccines. Now, the good news is, DBM gave DOST the initial funding to start our R&D. So for this year, we received a budget of 283 million, such that we have several R&D projects lined up for the VIP, which currently is located at the DOST ITDI. And nakasalang na po yung bill natin sa Congress for the VIP. Pumasa na po kami sa SNT committee and hopefully ma-establish natin yung VIP with this law. And bukod dyan, binigyan din ng DBM ang DPWH ng 50 million pesos this year to start the detailed engineering design for the VIP building, which will be located at the new Clark City.
Okay, now that seems to be the general process of putting up such an institute. Kumbaga, no, you need the law, you need the budget, you need starter fund, and you need a building to locate them para talagang aktual na may paglalagyan at may pagkukunan ng panggastos. But the question, Yusek Guevara, is this: meron ba tayong sapat na bilang ng mga magagaling na virologist or kung ano pang mga scientist ang kailangan ninyo? Are we going to start from zero? Or are we going to borrow, buy, o co-partner with vaccine manufacturers para makapag-manufacture na dito? Kasi kung hindi nila kayang gawin dun, edi tayo nang gagawa para sa atin, magbabayad na lang tayo ng konting royalty. Ika nga.
Dalawang sagot ko, no? Doon sa VIP, maggagamit tayo ng ating Balik Scientist program para magdala dito ng mga virologist. Para sa plants and animals, okay tayo eh. Yung sa humans, ang medyo kulang tayo ng mga virologist. Bukod dyan, meron tayong mga bilateral partners na pwede tayong makipag-partner doon sa kanilang R&D Institute at i-connect natin yun sa VIP dahil medyo kulang tayo ng virologist for human. Now, doon sa local manufacturing, alam mo, 1 year ago, naisip na ng DOST yan and we started communicating with the local pharmaceutical companies. And I'm very happy to report that 6 of them are interested to locally manufacture vaccines. 5 of them are willing to do the COVID-19 vaccine. One of them, gusto niya, mag-umpisa muna siya dun sa other vaccines. Kasi nga, sabi ko, 40 million na binabakunahan natin every year, gumagasta ang DOH ng more than 7 billion, lahat yun imported. So yun ang balak niyang umpisahang gawin. Now, is it possible? In manufacturing vaccines, there is what you call the full-fledged manufacturing and there is also the fill and finish portion of the manufacturing. So pag gagawa ka ng bakuna, you have the bioreactors to create the antigens. Yun yung ingredient ng vaccines. And then pag natapos mo yun, ilalagay mo ngayon yan sa vial, sa ampules, or sa injectables. Yung part na yon, yung paglalagay sa vial, ampules, at injectables, yun yung tinatawag na fill and finish. So, that one can easily be done right away. Kailangan mo lang magtayo ng planta for the fill and finish. So, itong mga kausap natin na 6 na companies, 3 sa kanila willing na gawin yun. So, naihanap na natin sila ng partner and they are now negotiating on how to undertake this particular activity. Siyempre
Okay.
kami, hinihikayat namin na mag-locate sila sa New Clark City kasi para katabi na nung VIP.
Okay. Now, the question is this. You said there are 6 local pharmaceutical companies na willing pasukin yung paggagawa ng bakuna. 5 out of 6 want to prioritize non-COVID vaccines. Only one.
COVID-19.
The COVID-19 vaccine.
One, gusto niya yung iba muna.
Oh, now, medyo parang it doesn't address yata the need, di ba? Parang we all need to focus our efforts on COVID-19 vaccine. So, may sinabi ka, Yusek, you are getting partners for them. What kind of partners are we talking about?
We're talking about the ones who have already manufactured their vaccines. Kasi di ba, meron na
Okay.
tayong vaccination rollout. So yung
Yeah.
iba doon sa mga nandoon sa listahan natin ng bakuna na binili natin, iba doon willing mag-partner sa ating mga local pharmaceuticals to manufacture locally the COVID-19 vaccine.
Are you at liberty to share who these companies are who are
Not yet,
willing?
Sito. Kasi we need to finish all the negotiations before we make announcements, and we leave it also to the companies to do the announcements. Now, some of them, I think 2 of them, are working with vaccine developers that are still in a phase 2 clinical trial. Hindi pa tapos yung phase 3. Well, wala pa namang nakakatapos ng phase 3 clinical trial ngayon. So, ganun yung sitwasyon do sa 6 na companies ngayon.
Okay, now the local companies, do they have the track record? Are they big enough? Kasi thinking ko,
Yes.
you have 110 million Filipinos. You're going to need this every year. Hindi naman ito for 2021 and 2022 lang. There will be replenishment or booster vaccine. Sino ba itong mga companies na ito na papasukin yan? Kasi some people are doubtful. Nagdududa yung mga ibang Pilipino, kaya ba yan? Mayroon bang ganyang kalaking kumpanya sa Pilipinas?
I can tell you that they have the track record, Sito. And basically, the DTI, BOI, and the National Development Company are already working with them to make
Okay.
sure that the government side, we will pave the way so that they would easily be able to do the manufacturing. But let me give you some real numbers. Kasi sabi ko nga sa'yo, a year ago, nakikipag-usap na tayo sa mga international experts on vaccine manufacturing.
Yeah.
The technology has advanced fairly well for vaccine production, especially the fill and finish. According to our experts, the fill and finish facility is actually modular. Parang nakalagay nga siya lang sa sa container van. And according to our experts, it can be as cheap as 350 million pesos, yung container van na facility na yon. And it can be manufactured in 6 months. And if you have it, at meron ka ng bulk antigen, you can produce as many as 40 million vaccines per year. So the numbers are good and hindi staggering yung kailangan mong investment. That's why we are optimistic that we will be able to get one of the 6 companies to do the manufacturing locally.
Okay. Aside from cost, what other obstacles or hurdle need to be overcome at the moment?
Because this is a local vaccine manufacturing, they will need to pass the FDA for the production. Kailangan mag-inspect yung FDA, check kung GMP sila, and all those other requirements for a company to manufacture a vaccine.
Yeah, but that's going to take another year at the
Not
schooling.
really. FDA, alam mo, natuwa talaga kami kasi nga na-form itong grupo namin, yung task group on vaccine evaluation and selection.
Yeah.
DOST ang chair, kasama namin ang DOH, Department of Foreign Affairs, RITM, DTI-BOI, at saka yung NDC. Ano yung pinag-uusapan namin? Lahat ng balakid para magkaroon tayo ng vaccine, ginagawa namin, inaalis namin. So for example, dati it takes 6 months for FDA to evaluate a vaccine. So gumawa kami ng plano and today, FDA is able to do it in 21 days. So, Sito, pag gusto talaga, nagagawa ng paraan.
That is very true, Yusek Rowena, but the question here is this. Gusto nga natin, meron ngang nandiyan 6 na kumpanyang papayag, may pwesto na, may pondo na, pero baka naman pagdating ng panahon, mahal pa rin.
Sito, ito yung isang ginagawa natin, we have to start somewhere. We cannot promise that it's going to be cheap, no? But at least it's going to be competitive. Yung isa sa mga tinitingnan ng DBM at saka ng DTI ay yung tinatawag na government procurement. Alam mo kasi malaking pondong gagastusin nito mga companies para magtayo ng manufacturing for vaccine dito sa Philippines. So kailangan naman mabebenta niya yung kanyang product. So isa sa tinitingnan ngayon ng DBM at saka ng DTI ay yung tinatawag na government procurement. Sa kasalukuyan, meron tayong flag law na kapag ka ang product mo, apples to apples, kunyari, all things being equal, meron kang imported, meron kang local. If the local manufactured product is 15% more expensive than the imported product, pwede nating bilhin yung local. Nasa batas na natin ngayon yan. Tawag nila dyan ay flag law. Ngayon, ang DTI nagsusulong ng bagong batas, yung tinatawag na pandemic bill, na para sa pandemic, yung 15% gagawin nating 20%. So, it can be more expensive, but in the long run, it is going to be cheaper. Kasi pag nag-manufacture ka locally, it is always going to be cheaper than something that you import. Doon pa lang sa logistics, talo ka na pagka-imported
Okay, let's go for a quick break, Yusek Rowena, and when we return, I'd like to pursue that matter on whether or not the Philippine government should simply partner with the manufacturers. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 and 250. You can also watch us via facebook.com/OneNewsPH, and on YouTube, just enter OneNewsPH. And I would encourage you to get the Signal Play app so you can watch us on the go. And don't forget, you can combine Signal TV with PLDT Home Only Fiber so that you have the best connection, internet connection in the land. Let's go back to our guest, the DOST Undersecretary Rowena Guevara. Yusek, kanina yung pinag-uusapan natin, sabi mo, private 6 companies sa Pilipinas will set up associations or partnerships with foreign manufacturing firms for vaccine. Pero naisip ko lang, bibili rin naman yung Pilipinas, yung Republic of the Philippines, the government will be buying vaccines on a large scale. Why not simply be a co-owner, partner of these firms. Parang sigurado mo na hindi pwede tayong banata ng presyo ng bahala na si Batman.
I'm very happy that you asked that question. Nabanggit ko kanina na yung aming task group on vaccine evaluation and selection, kasama natin ang National Development Company, the investment arm of DTI-BOI. So they are willing to joint venture with one or several of these 6 companies that I mentioned, and that is the government public-private partnership that Cito is talking about. In this manner, we would be able to get very good value for money for the
Yeah.
Philippine government.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Kumbaga, buhay pa pala yung PPP, di ba?
Oh yeah, alive and
Kasi,
kicking.
kasi nakalimutan na natin yung PPP because of COVID-19. Now, Yusek, matanong ko lang, no? So we talked about the companies, the foreign partners, location, budget, kailan?
Ganito, yung timeline na tinitingnan namin, iba-iba kasi yung timeline ng mga companies, ano? Tapos pati, we are waiting for the clinical trials to be finished for some of these vaccine companies. We imagine that best case scenario, by the end of 2022, we will have local manufacturing of a COVID-19 vaccine.
Mhm. Oh, pakiulit nga, ano?
Late 2022.
Late 2022. So mga bandang last quarter of 2022,
Best case
makakagawa
scenario.
na.
Yeah.
Okay, so best case. But siguro pag medyo may mga sumali na dyan ng mga heavy guts, big guns, baka mapabilis pa yan. Now, here's my worry. Actually, when you first announced this, I was very concerned about some companies na baka gamitin lang yung programa ninyo or yung concept ninyo para pampataas ng kanilang stock market value. Kasi may mga nagbulong sa akin yan, Cito, medyo pabantayan mo yan. Kasi meron dyan, pine-press release lang, and then hindi naman nila gagawin, inaano lang nilang tumaas yung kanilang stock market value. What are we doing to ensure na hindi kayo magamit?
Sito, alam mo, yung part na yan kasi business ng usapan dyan. The DTI, BOI, and the NDC are taking care of that portion of our path towards local manufacturing the COVID-19 vaccine.
Mhm.
And I promise you, grabing due diligence ang ginagawa nung dalawa.
Mhm. Well, I'm just mentioning that so that whoever may have bad intentions or may have some nasty ideas are pre-warned, are cautioned already that the public is watching, and syempre kasama kayo sa DOST, etc. Any other good news, Yusek? Good to know na last quarter of 2022 we may be able to see our own made in the Philippines vaccine. Ano pa ang magandang balita?
Sito, pinopromote din namin yung VCO, Virgin Coconut
Yun.
Oil,
Yun, thank
for
you.
mild to moderate cases of COVID-19. Our Food and Nutrition Research Institute at DOST made a clinical study at Santa Rosa, and they found that for mild cases, the VCO can actually decrease the number of days for recovery for
But
COVID-19.
how do you take it? Yun ang
Um,
marami tinatanong Paano ba yan?
Simple lang siya, Sito.
Oh.
Pagka nahango mo na yung food from the stove, pwede mo siyang lagyan ng VCO. And then ang aming suggestion, meron kaming suggestion, depende sa weight mo kasi eh. On the average, you will need 3 tablespoons to 6 tablespoons per day. Ngayon, pwede mo ilagay sa kape, pwede mo ring diretsong i-take siya. Yung isa namang study, yung sa Ateneo, kay Dr. Fabian Dairit, napakita na itong VCO, pag nilagay mo sa low viral load, ibig sabihin, konti pa lang yung kanyang coronavirus, ay 90% napapatay niya yung virus. So, ibig sabihin, VCO can actually take care of the mild cases.
Okay.
Saka yung nag-uumpisa pa lang, pwedeng-pwede talaga yung BCO.
Oh.
Madi-decrease niya yung number of days towards recovery.
Okay, asahan mo, Yusek, ipopromote natin yan dahil ako number 1 believer ako dyan sa BCO, lalo na para sa buhok. Hindi tayo nagje-jail,
Huwag lang
nagbi-BCO.
lulutuin, ha?
Yes, ma'am. Okay,
Oh,
wag
yun lang.
lulutuin. Thank you very much, Yusek Rowena Guevara, DOST. Okay, yan po ang ating interview with Yusek. Now, puntahan naman natin yung isa pang regular natin, Governor Presbitero Velasco. Presbitero. Presby. Nabubulol na ako, Gob.
Okay lang. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. You look great.
Yes.
Believe naman ako sa background mo. Puro ginto. Joke only.
Painting lang yan, di ginto.
Okay, joke only. Para na gumaanggaan kasi ang bigat na ng pakiramdam ng maraming Pilipino. Medyo nababad trip na, no? But Gov,
Yeah.
First of all, how are you and how are the people of Marinduque?
Well, sad to say, medyo tumataas yung mga infected persons, yung number of cases in Marinduque. Because for the past 1 month, no, we had 47 new cases out of a total of 366. So mga 12 to 13% yan. And that's bad, no? That's why I imposed a travel ban on non-APORs and tourists, no? Especially foreign tourists. So ganyan ang sitwasyon. Nakikita namin na dumadami yung infection at we are now focusing on the house transmission. So yan ang tinututukan namin plus the fact na yung mga nakakapasok. Siyempre, we have to allow some people to come in. Yung mga authorized persons outside the residence, talagang allowed yan pumasok. No? So yan ang aming tinututukan. Mga OFWs, they are allowed to enter. At yung mga drivers at mga helpers ng cargo vehicles, unhampered yung access niya. So medyo sumasama, kaya tinututukan naming mabuti.
Okay, so mukhang may mga controls kayo sa border. Now, kamusta naman yung mga health facilities ninyo dyan? Are you coping? Do you have enough doctors? And do you have enough hospital beds?
Well, dinadagdagan na namin yung aming mga health facilities at fortunately for us, marami na kaming nakukuhang doktor ngayon. So, marami na kaming mga health workers, pati nurses. Oo.
Okay, what about yung ano po, yung mga vaccines? Kasi dito sa NCR Plus, minomonitor ko kahapon, medyo yung ibang mayor mainit na ulo dahil hindi na nila gagawin nila. Ang daming pumipila, wala namang bakuna.
Well, alam mo kami, we are just relying on the vaccines provided by the government. So, may naibigay na sa aming 7,600 na vaccines ang government, no? Galing yan sa COVAX. 800 are AstraZeneca. Yung 6,800 ay yung Sinovac, no? So, as of this time, mga 2,780 health workers pa lang yung aming nababakunahan. And then there remains mga 1,400 health workers still to be inoculated.
Okay.
So ganyan ang sitwasyon. Siguro average namin mga 66% yung aming vaccination program. Okay naman, on track. But there are a number of people, the health workers, who declined the inoculation. So yan ang problema. So we have to convince them to avail of the vaccines given to us. Kasi better use any vaccine available kaysa wala, di ba? So yun, we're still trying to convince them. Kaya hindi pa kami nakakaabot doon sa Group A2, yung mga senior citizens na 28,000. Marami pa kami bakunang kailangan, so we rely on the national government to provide us with the needed vaccines.
So you have 7,600 doses. You have
Yes.
28,000 senior citizens. You have more than 3,000 health workers.
Yes, around 4,100 and only 2,700 have been vaccinated. There remains 1,400 health workers still to be inoculated. So ganun
So-
ang sitwasyon namin. Hindi pa kami tapos dun sa aming health workers.
Okay, now
Kukunti kasi yung bakuna, alam mo naman yan, kung 7,600 doses divided by 2 pa yun. Although yung AstraZeneca namin, we made use of both the first and second doses. Kaya we made use of the 800 lahat.
now papanong projection ninyo, Governor? Will you be able to have enough to protect your health workers muna? Will there be enough for a second round of vaccines, or unahin na muna natin yung first round and bahala na si Lord o bahala na ang gobyerno kung may darating na pang second round?
Well, yung second doses are reserved for those who were already inoculated. Ang inalaw lang sa aming gamitin ay yung sa AstraZeneca, yung first and second doses. So we are still asking DOH to provide us with more vaccines. We have talked to the suppliers of the different vaccines, pero ang mga sinasabi ay yung supply next year pa rin eh. So in the meantime, there's no rush in dealing with the manufacturers of the FDA-approved vaccines. For now, we just have to rely on the government. Tinutulungan naman kami ni Secretary Duque, yung aming regional director, si Mario Baquilod.
But that's good to know, Governor, no? But mabuti na banggit mo na nakakausap niyo yung mga suppliers ng vaccine. Kasi parang ang lumalabas ngayon, what's coming out is that the President, the head of the World Health Organization are both pointing fingers at the first world leaders na hinohoard yung vaccine. Ngayon, ano ba ang sitwasyon ng mga according to sa mga nakausap mo? Is it really because hindi sila maka-manufacture mabilis? May hoarding ba? Or is it simply because nahuli tayong lahat sa pag-order, di syempre mahuhuli din tayo sa delivery?
Well, yung mga istorya dyan is that talagang hindi tayo nakapag-invest nung umpisa pa eh. What we were told is that yung mga rich countries talagang nauna nang nag-invest. It's not even a purchase or a conditional sale or an advance payment. It's just an investment in the manufacture of certain vaccines. So sila yung guaranteed na makakauna talaga. Wala naman silang masabing iba na I dare not to ask them. Basta ang tinatanong ko lang, kailan ba yung available na supply? Yun na lang.
Well, hindi. Mabuti na banggit niya yan, Gov. Kasi I was speaking with Undersecretary Rowena Guevara of the DOST, and meron nga ang balak na mag-manufacture na lang dito sa Pilipinas. And nasabi ko nga, baka mas maigi na yung Republic of the Philippines maging partner na, business partner na ng mga magmamanufacture para may insurance tayo sa presyo at saka sa supply. Kasi baka mamaya, pag private sector na naman yan, mauna pa yung export kesa sa local deliveries. Anyway, maiba na ako as Governor. What is the situation of your fellow governors or members of the League of ano ba ito? League of Municipalities ba yung sa inyo? O
Provinces po, provinces.
Sorry,
81
provinces.
governors.
Okay, provinces, mga governor nga pala. Okay, what is their situation? Medyo are they having problems or concerns about the vaccine and the COVID?
Yung iba were able to already make advance payments, pero what I heard is that yung supply pa rin, there is a difficulty on the part of the the vaccine manufacturers to deliver, no? So there's nothing much we can do about it. Ang tanong nga paano kung umorder na rin kami sa iba? Well, yung isang manufacturer sabi, they're at liberty also to negotiate with another manufacturer kung talagang they cannot supply the agreed number of vaccines to be purchased. So ganyan ang sitwasyon ngayon. All depends on the supply. So talagang some decided to place orders pero konti pa rin yung delivery. So that's really the biggest problem.
Okay, now in the face of the shortage, no supplies, etc. Kasi yung iba nagha-hands up na, no? Sinabi nga ni Presidente, malamang marami pang Pilipino ang mamamatay. Medyo hindi ka tanggap-tanggap para sa katulad ko. I'm not going to roll over and die from COVID-19, not if I can help it. Now, what other actions or strategies are you and your fellow governors thinking of? Kasi sa akin po, Governor, sinabihan ko na yung mga kaibigan ko, magpabakuna na kayo ng anti-flu, magpabakuna na kayo ng anti-pneumonia, kung ano pa, kung ano ba yung mga symptoms ng COVID, kung may bakuna, pagpabakuna na, at least some marginal effort or some effort is better than none. What are the governors and what are you as governor thinking of in terms of as alternative solutions?
Well, kami are more particularly concerned with the border control, no, right now. Because ang observation namin, karamihan do sa carriers na nagpupunta sa mga LGU of destination are coming from NCR Plus, no, and other provinces na nagiging MECQ na rin. So, ang policy ng government or IATF is talagang to do away with the travel requirements. Kaya nawala na nga yung travel authority, nawala na nga yung medical certificate, at nawala na rin yung quarantine. Kasi intertwined yung quarantine, 14-day quarantine doon sa medical certificate. You have to do that before entering. So nawala lahat yun. And then I think upon the recommendation of the DOT, gusto naman nilang talagang makaluwag at makapasok yung mga turista. But then these things happened na lalong sumasama yung sitwasyon. So kami, we're comfortable naman pag travelers, mag-PCR test na lang sila. Okay lang yon, pre-travel requirement. Submit na lang yung certificate. Pero ang concern namin, yung mga local travelers at saka yung mga non-APORs, yung mga LSIs na tinatawag dati, no? Yung mga gustong bumalik, yun So, naipalusot na namin yun, naipasok na namin na yung antigen test, pwede sila mag-antigen test bago pumasok. Pero lately, may move yung, may proposal na tanggalin ulit yun, so ino-oppose namin strongly yun. Kasi nga, yun na lang ang aming, screening tool para at least ma-test yung papasok, no? Because we find na sa asymptomatic, hindi uubra lang yung clinical and exposure assessment. So gano'n kasi yon, pag ginamit namin yung antigen test, no, at positive, hinihiwalay na namin yon syempre, at under quarantine yon, subjected sa PCR test naman yon para talagang sure 100%. Yung negative naman, pag pumasok yon, pwede naming ipauwiin sa bahay, pero i-isolate niya yung sarili niya sa kwarto niya, and that kailangan he should strictly comply with the minimum health protocols at pinababantay namin doon sa mga BIHERT at sa mga barangay officials, no? So yun ang ginagawa namin ngayon. Talagang we find na there's some areas, mga probinsya, na tumataas talaga yung infection, no? So natatakot kami dyan. And then we focus also yung sa house transmission. Matagal na namin nakita yan Kasi ngayon, sa bahay talaga yung hawahan. So talaga yung mga barangay officials dito ay pinapagbantay namin, pinagmumonitor. At saka we authorize them to visit the houses para rin nakikita kung they comply with this. Mahirap talaga sa bahay, yung nagmamaskara, physical distancing, tsaka kumain ng mabilis. Dahil kasi hindi sila protected habang kumakain. Pero at saka lalo yung symptoms reporting. We are asking the barangay officials na i-monitor pag may mga symptoms na may report sa mga doktor namin. And then, yun na nga, napakahirap talagang itong sitwasyon, no? Sabi nga nung iba Cito, parang survival of the fittest na ito either way daw naman, mamamatay din yung virus. Kasi kung yung napasukan ng tao at malakas yung immune system, tatalunin yung virus, di ba? So in that situation, patay din yung virus. Kung manalo yung virus at sorry, at yung kababayan natin ay pumanaw, i-cremate naman, patay din yung virus. So ang important talaga, the way we look at it, yung vaccines kailangan we have to create the herd immunity to protect yung hindi pa infected. At yun naman, I agree, yung BCO, ako I take that I find that is effective Kaya talagang dapat bigyan na ng magandang authorization ng FDA at ng DOH paggamit ng BCO, no? And then yung
Okay.
ivermectin, nakikita ko rin effective. Baka talagang luwagan na yung paggamit kasi wala namang cure talaga sa vaccine sa COVID-19, di ba? Walang cure Talagang protection lang. And then, hindi pa tayo sure kung yung vaccine talaga can protect you from the variant. So, ganun
Okay.
ang aming mga measures na ginagawa dito.
Gob, we'll just go for a quick break and then
Yeah.
when we return, tatanong ko naman sa iyo yung economy at saka alam nyo na ba kung anong klaseng COVID meron kayo dyan sa Marinduque? And anong lumalaganap na COVID gene sa mga probinsya? We'll be right back after this quick reminder. Okay, you're back here on Agenda via Signal TV, channels 8 and 250. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. With us is the Governor of Marinduque Presbitero Velasco. Gob, may idea na ba kayo kung ano yung dominant COVID variant na umiikot sa mga probinsya? Kasi mukhang sa NCR, nasabi na, inamin na UK variant at saka South African variant. Sa mga probinsya ba, ano ang kumakalat? Meron kayong idea?
Well, in particular, sa Marinduque, wala pa kaming finding or wala pa ring finding yung DOH, no, na yung variant yung nakapasok sa amin. But we have a strong suspicion na may variant na nakapasok Kasi yung may mga isa o dalawa kaming cases na ang bilis nung infection. Halos sa one day lang or a few hours, ang daming na-infect, no? So pinadala na yun sa Philippine Genome Center yata and we are awaiting the result of their examination, no? Pero ang feeling ko, and also I think in other provinces, nakakapasok na yung variant. Kaya nagkakaroon ng surge sa iba no? Nagkakaroon yung spike. So I think kasama yan One of the main causes siya ang yung variant yung presence ng variant.
Okay, kamusta naman po ang economy sa inyo at sa mga kasama niyong gobernador? Kasi while the center of our economy is in Metro Manila, 60%, yung 40% ay nasa mga probinsya. The problem with the economies in the province is it directly affects the people. Hindi ito national in scope, personal in scope. Kamusta po ang ekonomiya dyan?
Well, ang pinagkakakitaan dito yung tourism, no? Dahil magaganda yung mga white sandy beaches namin, yung mga caves, mga ganyan. mga mountains, etc. So, pagbagsak yung tourism, affected talaga yung mga ibang mga businesses dito, no? Ang tourism namin, nung 2020, yung based on the room occupancy in the hotels, no? Bumagsak yan ng mga 93%, no? So, malaki yung aming income dito sa mga turista sa aming mga souvenirs, mga products, no? So, talagang affected yung aming businesses, no? So, yan, medyo hirap kami ngayon kaya kami nagbibigay kami ng financial support or mga loans sa aming mga farmers at sa aming mga manufacturers. So, medyo baksak ang business hanggang ngayon. Oh.
Gaano tatagal if the situation persists, Governor?
Well, pag hindi naayos tong COVID at kami talaga is mainly relying on tourism, no, and other related activities and businesses, baka itong year na ito medyo bagsak pa rin itong economy namin. Although of course, tuloy yung mga projects, no, sa construction, and that gives jobs to our kababayans. At yung aming baboy ay ASF free kasi kami. So much in demand dyan. Kumikita yung mga kababayan namin. But for other businesses, medyo affected and down. Kaya tuloy yung tutok namin, tinutulungan namin sila.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Governor Velasco, at marami po kayong na-share. Sana po ay umigi na ang sitwasyon dyan sa Marinduque, and for the League of Provinces, I wish you all the best. Please take care.
Thank you very much. Keep safe too.
Okay, yan po si Governor Presbitero Velasco, President of the League of Provinces and Governor of Marinduque. Medyo, ayan na, no, mapapakamot ka talaga ng ulo. Walang vaccine and kailangan humanap ng remedyo, because if the situation does not improve, I don't think we are going to be able to continue at the rate we're going economically. Mahirap po kasi hindi naman natin pwedeng tiisin na magutom ang mga kapwa natin Pilipino. Let's go for netizen report. Let's hear what our viewers have to say on various issues. Here is the netizen report.
We ask your experience after getting vaccinated. Larry says he suffered soreness in the arms and had blurred vision, while Amadito got a headache, had fever, and felt fatigue. But also these vanish, he says, after taking medicine. A timely question during the pandemic was also raised. What kind of assistance do you still hope to receive from the government? Malmine says she's not expecting any assistance because she didn't receive anything right from the start. Lim says it's the other way around. What assistance can you give to the government? We also discussed one dilemma of parents, whether they prefer distance and face-to-face learning for students. Richmond expresses support for face-to-face learning, but says strict health protocols must be followed. He believes that students learn more in a classroom scenario. Ashley agrees with Richmond, with the condition that the government would have a concrete plan for students. April Rose meanwhile stresses the importance of physical class, especially for grade school. But for now, she prefers distance learning for the safety of the kids. May shares the same sentiment. She says everyone can be a carrier of the virus. Hence, she wants to protect her child and family.
Okay, that's our netizen report. And while we still have some time, I'd like to take the opportunity to show you something, okay? This is what you call an oximeter, okay? Ang ginagawa po dyan ay pinapasok ang daliri ninyo para malaman kung kamusta yung kalagayan ng inyong kalagayan ng inyong oxygen level sa dugo. You're probably going to wonder, Cito, why are you talking about the oximeter? Simple. Yesterday, I was at Watson's drugstore here near Lima, here in Lipa. And habang binibili ko yung gamot, my maintenance medicines, this young guy, young man, ang laki niya. Siguro, I think he was twice my size. And I'm not a small guy, okay? He was twice my size and much taller than me. And you could tell he was really obese. And he walked up to the counter and he said, magkano ho ba yung oximeter? At sinabi yata nung nandun 1,700 something. At tinignan niya, pagkatapos binaba niya, tapos umalis na siya. And I wanted to go to him and say, anak, yung oximeter, mas kailangan mo ngayon yan kaysa sa cellphone mo. Kasi yung, the point I'm making is a lot of people are hesitant to buy an oximeter. But you're going to need it. If you can afford it, buy one because it tells you the level of oxygen in your blood, in your body. Pag bumaba po kasi to below 95, yung oxygen ninyo, kumbaga sa madidinig niyo yung warning kasi iba na, mababa na ang level ng oxygen and that is dangerous. Aba, si Arvic Tolentino who is our acting EP, 400 plus lang po bili ko. Baka naman hindi oximeter yan binili mo, Arvic, ha? Baka, oximeter daw. Sa kanya, ewan ko kung magkano yung bili niya. 400 lang daw, which is good news. If you can buy one that is really authentic and accurate, buy one. Kasi po, between 400 and 1,007, buhay naman ninyo ang nakataya kasi mas mabilis ma-check. You can monitor your oxygen level. That is crucial in our survival of COVID-19. And ako kasi may COPD ako, so I need it. Okay, now, just wanted to share that with many of you out there. Pangalawa po, today, magdi-deliver yung local veterinary office, Department of Agriculture yata, ng Lipa City, magdi-deliver daw dito ng 3 biik sa farm ko for Sentinel. Kasi tinamaan kami ng ASF. We were hit by ASF last December, wiped out the small piggery we had, and now the local officials, the local vet said they're bringing in the Sentinel pigs to find out if the 3 little pigs that we will get today will survive. And if they survive, they can declare the barangay and the 10-kilometer area as hindi COVID-free, ASF-free. Now, meron po tayong viewer na nag-text sa akin asking for my endorsement so that they can avail of the loans from Department of Agriculture. Panawagan lang po, no? Or just to serve notice, when the government has a program, the citizen should have access and right to those programs. Hindi nyo po kailangan ng endorsement from the media or parang i-push yung inyong request. Kailangan lang po mag-apply kayo. Alamin ninyo kung nasaan, makipag-usap kayo sa mga kawani ng gobyerno. I also just want to remind our friends who are starting new businesses, please start small. Kasi itong isang mama, gusto niya 10 baboy kaagad Kapital daw, utangin niya 200,000. Teka, paisa-isa laang. Mag-aral muna kayo. Retired teacher, papasukan niyo 10 baboy. Baka hindi na kayo matulog. Pag lalo na kung madisgrasya pa, baka hindi na kayo makatulog. Anyway, just a warning, get your oximeter, and if you go into business, take it one step at a time. Mahinay-hinay lang po. I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us today. And before we close, I just want to encourage you, please try to find time to read the book of Isaiah in the Bible. I think it is very timely in today's situation where many of us have forgotten our faith, our connection with the Lord God, and a number of us are paying for that. And I do hope you will take time to reflect on the book of Isaiah. Marami po kayong marirealize. Basta pag binasa nyo, put it in today's context. Huwag niyong basahin na parang history book. Ilagay nyo sa situation ngayon, nangyayari ba ito ngayon? Okay, that's all. I'm Cito Beltran. Thank you. God bless all of you.